too. Hello.
Welcome back, everyone. It's your podcast.
Yeah.
There's been some house.
Wait, did you even see it in here? I don't want to remove like the phone. No, you can't. Okay. Well, and then it's not presentable.
Yeah.
First thing, we got the snake last episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. His name is Gerald. You named him after G-Eazy, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Albino carpet python because he's white. That's why we call him Gerald. At least that's why I think he called him that. And we have another surprise guest. I came home from a trip yesterday to Jason revealing this.
We won't be able to get it out. It's wedged in between rock. I don't want to remove everything.
Okay.
But maybe later. I'll check near when this ends. But I got an acting monitor. His name's Gabriel. Named after the comedian Gabriel Iglesias because this lizard is fat as fuck. It's pretty obese.
That's why.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember the name from earlier. I was like, I know it starts with a G, but I can't remember the reason behind it.
Yeah, but he's about this big, rounded like a little sausage.
A big sausage,
Yeah.
like.
But he actually did let out a lot of the air today. He's not as obese as I thought he was, which is good. But yeah, first monitor lizard, super intelligent already. Gonna build an awesome enclosure. He's in a big enough one now, but I want to upgrade it. But yeah, that's the next pet. Also, got 2 racking systems. So I have 34 cages for little hatchling snakes, which won't be filled for a while, hopefully. But I love how it filled that empty space. Like we needed furniture, now we don't need like anything.
We need stuff to the floor.
That's what we need, yeah. House is a disaster. Tomorrow after work I'm cleaning out all of these racks because they're disgusting. Got them for super cheap. And then the night after, because that's going to take me a while, or even maybe that night, I'm going to have to clean up the house, make it presentable because someone's coming to inspect the house, a potential buyer for this whole apartment complex.
They might not even go into our apartment, or we gotta check every single apartment.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I love, like, before we got these, it was already weird, like, apartment to walk into.
Yeah.
But now you walk through here and you see all of this, which is cool. And then see just your mugshot and really want
And then 2 gigantic racking systems.
a huge enclosure out there.
A little fish tank, and then just a bunch of alcohol bottles on top of our kitchen. That's kind of what you get with first impressions here.
Yeah. Luckily it'll be clean. It won't stink. And yeah, they're going to be sick. I'm also going to be getting 2 free carpet pythons. They're huge. Don't know when that's happening. Whenever I have money to build that acne enclosure, and then I'll have 2 free enclosures for 2 pythons, which would be sick. So the A-Shake household is coming along. I'm also trying to paperwork to raise a pattern on it. That could be happening soon. And he's going to be getting fish when his girlfriend comes in a couple weeks. So slowly filling up this apartment. Not slowly, I guess.
Yeah, this all happened within like 3 days.
The past 2 boat trips, like the first boat trip he came back and I was like, here's a snake. And then the second one I was like, here's a lizard. So who knows, maybe this next one I'll have another animal. Oh, I told people at Hartley's to incubate Ciliaris eggs next time they get it for me. So that's at least a month out, or 2.
Okay.
At least. So that'll be sick. Some little spiny tail geckos. I think that's it. I think that's all the animal plans I have so far. Don't know if I'll keep these racking systems. We also don't know how the apartment's going to react to them.
Yeah, which is the worry that I brought up the other day, so.
Yeah. Luckily, there's not a lot. I can flip. I got these racking systems for super cheap, so I can flip them for a profit. They're like, yo, what the fuck? Get these out. The snake I can give back to the breeder, worst case scenario. The active monitor I can sell for a profit, because it's worth some money. And then like that enclosure, I could make a profit if I had to sell. I don't think they're gonna have a problem with that. And we have been trying to get pet applications, but they just weren't at the
I'm
office.
never there. Like,
Yeah.
they're just They're also only open an hour a day. Besides on Tuesday and Thursday, to where they're. No, I think it's just.
I think it might just be Tuesday, or maybe just Thursday.
Oh, let's go over the. Let's roast these people before they kick us out. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is 9 to 11 a.m. Tuesday and Thursday is 4 to 5. Saturday is 10 to 11, and Sundays are closed.
Makes it very difficult with two full-time workers
Yeah.
to get down there in the middle of the day. But it will be a priority. I'm not worried about it. One, because worst case scenario, I can sell everything and it's not a big deal. But also, when we moved in, I asked about pets, and she was like, "Well, what kind of pets?" And I was like, "Fish tanks, maybe a couple lizard snakes." And she was like, "Oh yeah, as long as it's not a big dog, it's fine." So we are going to get the application process started and get them on applications for sure, so they know it's here. But yeah, I don't see how they'd have a problem with it as long as it's clean and it doesn't stink, which is what this apartment is going to be spotless for when they walk through. And no snakes are in these rack systems. I doubt they're even going to know what they are. And then, I mean, I guess that case, like, oh, it's a lizard, oh, they're sending the fish tank, they have a couple other things, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we'll see. It's also not like the inspectors coming. It's the owner of the apartment and an investor. And I'm assuming the owner of the apartment doesn't really know his rules to his apartment. I think he's also an investor and just owns this apartment complex.
Just like a money
Is
man.
like, yeah, just let me know how this is going. I think it's kind of that. But I don't know. He did approve our application. So I don't know. If they have a problem with it, we'll cross that bridge.
If we get evicted, we're crossing another type of bridge.
I don't think that's very extreme.
Yeah, I guess so too.
Usually, yeah.
I think we'll be fine. It's just
You'll be on the boat. You won't have to deal with that.
until I have to pack up all my shit as soon as I come back. They're like, you're just like, bro, I got a situation. And then I, ride my bike back, and then it's just you sitting out front with all of our stuff.
Including the Terraria, but like, trust me, these are going to get us a new apartment. But we have to find a new apartment.
We're using this and we're building our own house now. So yeah, might be the last episode. Very small chance it could be the last episode in the apartment.
And that would be really extreme.
Yeah.
Even with when I was talking to them about, and we do have a ballot, we haven't been able to get into them. Like I said, they were given to me for free and they dropped off, which is what happened basically. Or I can say I'm fostering them. Anyways, when I was even talking to them about leasing, they said, yeah, if you miss rent, we give you a couple weeks of notice, and they keep reminding you, and then we go into the process. So it seemed pretty lenient with everything. And I've seen dogs here, loud dogs I've heard. I've seen cats. Those all have to be worse than.
Yeah, what we got going on.
Yeah. They're not going to know there's a snake, well, maybe.
And they know that we're like, we've never even been a day late on it.
Yeah, no, not at all. We're always on time. We're good tenants. It'll be clean. I'm not worried about it, actually.
Yeah, not really.
It wasn't impulsive buys because they were really good deals, but after on the hour drive home, I was thinking about it, like, this problem, and then, not.
I mean, you always have that
Yeah.
feeling. Like, should I have bought this?
Mm-hmm.
That's just an animal thing, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
should I have bought this? Did I need this? And then you're just like, yeah, I did.
And also, I'm going to take all the tubs out for when they come and inspect. So it'll just look like a weird shelving system.
Yeah.
It'll just be that enclosure, and I'll probably actually move it out if it get too hot. I'll probably leave that there.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Just a little snake.
Yeah.
So that's what's been going on. How's it been going? Undergoing some changes.
It's also good that we don't have a cat because we want to be able to raise a pet and not get a cat. So we can get a disease only spread by cats.
Yeah, I don't really care for a cat right now.
Yeah.
I need a kangaroo, and like an alligator snapper turtle right now. Those are my options. So, yeah, that's what's been going on. Just a bunch of house stuff. Yeah, Mero comes in a week in 6 days. We're gonna have to film some podcasts for that.
Oh, yeah.
We're probably gonna be. We're gonna be gone on a Saturday on a boat.
Yeah, we'll have to plan it out a little bit more. We can do that. Shouldn't be a problem.
Not at all. I'm sure we'll be on the podcast. We'll see.
We'll see. Be an interesting part of this. You'd be a real first guest. Like, no offense, Molly, but that was a disaster.
Yeah, we'll film another one with you, Molly.
Yeah, for sure. But looking back on that, that was hilarious.
That was like our first like official podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the first time we filmed a couple first podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah. First one was interesting. First one that people actually got to see.
Yeah. Also, Payne's exhausted.
I'm so tired.
And he has to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, so.
It's
9?
No, it's only
8:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But yeah, I just got back from a very long boat ride yesterday.
You have to tell me what happened. You never talked about your trip.
Yeah, dude, some stuff happened on this one.
I'm gonna turn this fan off.
Okay. But yeah, just a very long trip. Couple pretty crazy things happened, and I just didn't stop on this trip. Like even when we should have been having breaks, like we just didn't. It was just the weather's getting pretty bad. Like you know, we're hopping into our winter, and we're getting like 3-meter swells now. So literally, if this table was like the boat, and like we were just like sitting here, like the edges would like smack our chins if we were like to sit on the edge of the tables. Like that's how bad it was.
Jesus.
Like you could see on the dive deck, we have things called bollards, which we tie up the ropes on, and they cause little openings in the gates, and you could literally see like sometimes when the boat would tip, like some water would splash in that little like section right there. Like that's how much the boat was tipping. It was insane. And
I would love to fall asleep to that.
no, I tried, and like I have my sea legs on me now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get like seasick or anything like that, but sleeping on a boat is really nice. Like yes, there's like a nice rocking, but when it's like that, you're like, like that's not fun. Especially when you're sitting on the bow. That's where all the crew cabins are, and you can literally like hear the waves crashing against the hull.
Oh, that would be so.
Like it's bad, dude. I could not sleep.
I really want to experience that. That actually sounds very peaceful. I don't know why.
There is like a tranquility to it. I mean, and I was still so tired. Like I literally laid there for an hour. And I know I didn't get any sleep, but I just laid there for an hour, just resting my eyes. Like that was amazing. But yeah, could not get a wink of sleep. So that was just to start the trip off. But the weather and the waves are a lot nicer once you get out to the reefs, and they're actually protecting us from the waves. But yeah, so it also comes with a little bit of current on our dive sites, and there were just so many people getting lost. Like visibility was about maybe 10 meters or 30 feet, and people were just always getting lost, like just going the wrong directions. So they would surface up really far away from the boat, and we had a good amount of old people on the strip. So I'd have to hop in the tender of the dinghy and ride out to them, chuck a line off of the back of the little tender, and like tow them back to the boat. I've never done that before this trip. Out of all of my months of working at ProDive so far, and I think I did it 5 separate times on this one trip. So just when I was like supposed to be like filling tanks, you know, like either getting my wetsuit off or drying off, or going to brief my students, I was dragging people back to the boat, and that sucked. And then we had our drill. This was an interesting drill. This is the most intense one that I've had, and it was missing diver. And so one person would come back from the dive, they'll be like, I have no idea where my buddy is.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be like, okay, we'll do the recall diver thing. if they still don't come back, we call divers is when you bang metal on metal 3 times or rev the engine. So if everybody comes back and the person that's missing is still not back, then most likely something happened to them. So we plan out for the worst case scenario, which is unconscious diver underwater, and so we would ask them questions like, where'd you last see him? Like, how can we identify them easily underwater? Where were you guys at in the dive sites? How long ago did you lose them? All the basic questions. And then the best driver of the tender would hop in the tender, and one of the dive instructors, just whichever one was probably most capable, but I've never done this before, so they let me do it. And you get in your like snorkeling gear, and then you throw your scuba kit in the tender, and you're the one being dragged behind that tender. But usually when we drag customers back there, they'll have their regulator in, so they can breathe just fine. If you're going with just a snorkel, it's not as easy. And like, you know, when we're also taking tenders, we're also taking passengers back, we're going like maybe a quarter to half throttle. But when you're looking for an unconscious diver, you're going as fast as you can. Like, you are putting like, when we drag passengers and things like that, when you're dragging somebody, like one of the instructors, like, like you're just being dragged, and yeah, so you have to breathe and try and look at the bottom of the dive site for an unconscious diver while you're getting like stuff washed all over your face. And yeah, so that's really intense. We were driving around for about 5 minutes, which wasn't the best time that we could have done, because it's 8 minutes where you're brain dead. If you're an unconscious diver and you know you're unconscious, then no oxygen to your brain for 8 minutes is brain dead. So we need to try to do all of this in 8 minutes. So found him after about 5 minutes.
Wait, this was a drill. How did you find him?
It was one of the crew just
okay.
got down on it at some point. And then yeah, so then you have to do a negative entry to where the person who's driving the tender just chucks your stuff in the water. You just pop your regulator in, immediately deflate, and then you sink with all your gear. And while you're sinking, you're putting on all of your equipment. It's some badass shit, but it's hard, especially like I've never done that before. So I was my head was right here, and my legs were right here at one point, just because I was sinking so fast. Because I forgot I also had extra weights in my pockets for my students from the dive previously, so I sank like a rock, dude. So I grabbed onto my regulator, popped in my mouth, deflated my BCD, and then sunk down, and my BCD looked like I just went straight down. And so it was pretty difficult trying to get all my equipment on. And then finally got all of it down, got my buoyancy all settled. And by the way, I wasn't in my wetsuit, I was just in my swimming trunks and just like nothing else. And the water's cold, and I need a 5mm wetsuit in order to be satisfied underwater. So I was freezing, dude. Finally got down there, found him, did all the checks, checked for consciousness, tapped him on the collarbone. Once I found out that he was unconscious, started ascending with him. It's to where you have to like cradle on their back and toy with their LPI to try and make them float, but you can't float too fast because you can only ascend at 18 meters per second, or if not, then every time you breathe in, you risk lung overexpansion injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to ascend not too fast. If you're going too fast, the computer will beep at you. So they had one of the computers that we have on the boat, and luckily it didn't beep, but if I did, that would have been bad, obviously, because then like we would have failed drill and probably have had to do it again. But yeah, got him to the surface, flipped him over, did rescue 7, which is like giving rescue breaths while taking apart all of their equipment. And then
She had to make out with him?
we just did dress off to the side. Okay. I was not kissing our skipper, no way. So, yeah. Then they lifted them up on the tender, and then I was just left with the gear in the water, freezing my ass out while they booked the unconscious diver back to the boat. they got in there, and then like 5 minutes later, once all that was situated, they came back and got me, and then that was the end of the drill. So I did everything right.
Did you have to tread water for those 5 minutes, or you had your scuba equipment on?
I had my scuba equipment
okay.
and the other person, so I like had mine on, and I was just like floating on theirs like a little BCD sandwich.
Just shivering.
Yeah, dude, it was cold. So yeah, that sucked, but honestly, it was really interesting to see since I've never done that drill. We do a drill every single week, and it varies between them. I've done like, I think there's like 10 different drills that come with like fire on board, like missing diver, grounding, anchor drop.
Man overboard.
Yeah, exactly, like all that kind of stuff. Some of the drills, are a lot easier. That's the most intensive drill that I've ever done. Most drills, you just like talk about like what you would do, like for like helivac. Like obviously we're not gonna simulate that. That would be fucking awesome, but no, we just talk about it. And yeah, usually that'll be done like the last day. But on grounding, some skippers will be really like they'll get really into it and literally like make scavenger hunts. So like for one where we had to do a grounding drill, it was he called us up to the wheelhouse and was like, all right, we have a leak here. You guys go down there, check it out, see what you can find, and then sure enough, you'll go down there and they like would tape up something, be like, there's a 1 by 2 meter gash in here, and it's treading on water. And then he'll be there, be like, all right, what do we do? Then there was another part where like we had to like drive around the side of the boat, and there was another hole. So yeah, some of the skippers can just make those drills pretty fun, depending on the drill. But yeah, that was the most intensive one I've ever done, and
now you're prepared.
yeah, honestly, very satisfied that I was able to do it. Because yeah, we have had that happen before.
Really?
Yeah, it was wasn't on my boat though,
Oh.
but I heard it happened like something like that happened about like 2 months ago.
Jeez. Did the guy survive?
Yeah. Yeah, I just know the skipper that it happened to was pretty messed up about it, and that was the one that we were with. So he was like, if this isn't perfect, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of pressure with that, and that dude already is like, if you don't get your shit right, he's already gonna pump a casket. So casket.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not the right phrase.
But yeah, so intense drill. It sucked, but very satisfied that I was able to do it. And then yeah, after that, well, I guess this was before that. But yeah, I had my first panic diver scenario. Which if you don't know, you heard Cowboy Surround story.
Yeah.
Like, panic is what
Kills divers.
it's bad, and it's what we instructors are like not trained to do. Well, we are trained to deal with it, but like that's the number one thing that we're supposed to prevent. You know, is just prevent that panic, because it can be a scary thing. Like the ocean, to a lot of people, is just terrifying in itself, and then when trying to like dive under that surface for 3 to 4 hours a day, it can be a little, even just for like 30 minutes can get to some people. So yeah, had a student. She had the like same little like freak out thing of when water hits the nose. So I worked with her for about a day in the pool and got her pretty comfortable with it, at least to what I thought. And it was my fault for passing that off. I should have worked with it a little bit longer. But yeah, like 2 of the students needed to go home right away because we had a van going out like 20 minutes out of the way, which would be like 50 minutes round trip. So we wanted to make sure the rest of the crew got home early, but yeah. So we got out to the ocean. She got passed on everything in the pool. And then, yeah, we go in on first dive, and we're doing one of our skills to where you need to blow bubbles out of your mouth, just because you never want to hold your breath when you're taking out your regulator. And like when she
Also, you're at a depth, right? Since they're just open level. That if worst case scenario they shoot up, it's not really the end of the world.
Yeah, so this is what open water divers do is no stop diving.
Mm-hmm.
So
When we first started, we're forced to do safety stops. But from what I understand, it's not really required. It's
Yeah.
safer, but
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world if you shoot up.
yeah, so yeah, no stop diving is to where you can shoot up at any point throughout the dive and you'll be totally fine. Absolutely zero risk of DCS. So yeah, they're just recommended. I mean, they want you to think that it's like required, just because
It's a good habit to build.
good habit to build. And you know, when you're diving on like a liveaboard or something like that, you could be diving four times a day for like a couple days. Like you just always want to just limit that risk, even though you don't have to. You know, like just always just limit that risk. If you're on like a day boat to where you're only doing like 2 dives, then just do like a decent long surface interval, and you'll be good. But yeah, anything below 18 meters, that's where it's safety stops are required, just because you have a good amount of nitrogen that gets absorbed. So yeah, we were at about 8 meters, 9 meters, and the deepest you can take them for the first 2 open water dives is just 12 meters.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good dive site, and I wanted to do our skills on the line, like the mooring line that connects to the boat, because I knew that, you know, she might not be entirely comfortable doing them all the way down there. But since it was just so choppy, like once we were holding on, they have to hold on to that rope all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
For the first 2 dives, they have to descend with a physical reference. Then dive 3 is just a visual reference. Then dive 4 is no reference at all, to where you just drop down, and they're looking away from the boat. But when we were holding on to that line, since the waves were so choppy, like it would literally like pull you, like almost give you damn near whiplash. Like sometimes that thing was like really jerking, and honestly, I didn't even like want to use it for my students, just because I feel like that would stress them out a lot more.
Yeah.
Like it's just jerking them around, and we were already getting, you know, like suffocated up at the surface when I was trying to tell them what we were supposed to be doing. So yeah, I just went down to a nice little sandy patch, got them all on their knees.
Well, pause.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. So you never have to say that. It's always just this. Alright, that's all I do.
Suck my dick.
Jesus. So yeah, I get them all on their knees, tell them the skill that they have to do, which is regulated recovery. And then yeah, when she tosses it out and then tries to blow her bubbles, she just dumps her bubbles out and runs out of air in a split second. And I see that, and then she starts freaking out, tries to grab her regulator. I try and put it back in her mouth, and you could just see her eyes just go like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one thing that you just know.
Oh yeah,
like,
of course.
that's panic right there. Your eyes go like this. You know, she puts her regulator back in her mouth and just holds down that purge button.
Oh.
Like just because I could tell like she sucked in just a tad bit of water. So like when she put her regulator, she was just like purging, like breathing so hard, like breathing out of her mask, and it was coming off a little bit. And then she just like bolts off the surface, like she just starts like clawing, like just clawing to the surface, like kicking up and everything. So then I try to like wrap her up, but it's a hard thing to do, trying to wrap up somebody without constraining them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just get like really close, and like sort of like put my knees around her legs just to slow down her kicking. And I was like grabbing her like around like by the tank, like just holding in her regulator, and I was just like pause, like trying to get her to just stop swimming up. Because at first I did want to keep her underwater.
Yeah.
Just so I could see if I can get her, you know, back and comfortable with it. But like just nothing was getting through to her. Like she was just wide eyed, just purging that regulator. She could probably even see me. And when she would, she was just like, no, like going up. And then like by this point, I realized that we were already like 4 meters like above, and it's like 4 meters under about. And my students were like looking and checking me out. I was like, come up. I was like, we're going up. Like everyone go up right now. So then they started swimming up. and then we get to her on the surface. You know, she's coughing up a little bit of water. I fully inflate her BCD. I drop her weights, which is what you want to do. Just keep them buoyant at the surface. I was just like checking up on her. I was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" Like I saw you saw it. Swallowed a little bit of water, and yeah, she was just like, "Yeah, I just freaked out there and swallowed a little bit of water," but she was majorly okay. And I look around, and my students aren't there, and then I see that they're just barely under the surface, and I'm just like screaming. I'm like, "Get up!" Because they were under there for like a solid minute, 2 minutes. So I was like, I can't have students under the water and on the surface at the same time, and that just like ticked me off a little bit. So I never want to like be that stern with my students, but at that point there was so much going on. I just could not have them, and then yeah. So that sucked. She got out of the water. Then I took the other students down and reconvened with her after, and yeah, she was just like, yeah, it's just as soon as, you know, like it dumped all that air out, like it just couldn't find my regulator, wasn't in my hand yet, but yeah, she was okay. And then took her down on dive 3, that was dive 1, and she waited after dive 2, and then came back out on dive 3, and we had to do partial mask clearing, and you know, the same exact thing happened.
Really? She panicked again?
Yeah. I mean, but it's like I wanted to do like skills on the line and everything like that, but it was still just so choppy, and yeah, I mean, it's not her fault. Like it's like some people just have that like tick in their mind, and you know, I mean, it is like I was talking to her about it, and like I just came to realize, like, even though I'm like so comfortable in it, like that's literally like my element. Like even just without that regulator, like that's still 30 meters and tons of water, like that are just not there to support you, and like without that regulator, like would kill you easily. And yeah, just made me a little bit more understanding for why people do it. So yeah, it just, that's like one of the biggest tests you can have as an instructor.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like that's one of the reasons, like why it's not why you become an instructor, but it's your role as of like, you know, like when shit hits the fan, like you're the person to take control of that. So yeah, it fucking sucked, and I didn't get to certify her. But we got her on some Discover scuba diving dives to where she didn't have to do any skills, but you know, like her and the instructor just like right there.
Yeah.
Like if I knew that, if I didn't know that, you know, like I didn't teach her in the pool already, and I already wasn't underwater with her. Usually for DSDs, like I literally just hold on to the back of their tank, and then I just control their low pressure inflator, and then I'll literally like guide them around the little dive site. Like I'm not gonna let them worry about anything. Like I'll check their air just by looking at their computer. Like I do everything for them. All they have to do is just look. I'll literally even swim with them for them. But yeah, her, I knew that she was fine. I mean, she did want to lock arms for the second, or like the Discover scuba diving that she did with me. She did one with another instructor. But yeah, she was such a nice lady, and yeah, I hope I see her again so that we can try again.
Yeah, it's impressive that she went on to the Discovery scuba diving after.
Yeah, no, I mean she was so keen on learning. Like that's
Australian word.
Huh?
Australian word.
Yeah, dude. Everybody says keen here.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's weird. I like it though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's so interested. I can tell like she was truly broken up about like how, you know, like she freaks out too, and just like, yeah, I could just hear the pain in her voice. After that second time, she was like, I don't think I can do this. Yeah. And I was like, we're just gonna keep trying, you know, like however much you want, like I got you. So it shook me up for a while, cause you know it's just when you see the fear in their eyes, and like them freaking out, you're like, am I about to see somebody drown right now? Like, am I about to see that? Because all in all, like besides trying to calm them down, and give you that regulator in their mouth, there's not much else you can do.
Yeah.
You know, like, and just get them to the surface safely. Like that's really all that we can do. When it comes down to it, like you think you can do more before you run into those situations, but there's really not.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
And it's crazy because that's the only time she'll have to do skills, unless she has to wants to go a higher certification.
Yeah.
Like it's just one thing to even follow.
Yeah, seriously, like as long as. Yeah,
but also, I don't know if she should be diving if she panics like that. Like
it's just a mental block that she just has to get over.
Yeah.
You know?
I think though, if she were to pass on the skills and still have like that panic though,
yeah,
she'd get into a situation eventually where she'd be panicked and it would be bad.
Yeah, she wouldn't have an instructor.
So it's good. It's good like the structure scuba diving has, where you have to do 4. You have to prepare for all the worst case scenarios and show that you can handle yourself.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, so I was really sad that I couldn't certify. Also because she was just so nice, and I feel like we actually became, like decent friends after that. Which was one of the main reasons why I wanted to go to Rattle last night, but I couldn't, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I dove all 3 times yesterday, and I wasn't planning on diving at all. But
did you get any footage on this trip? No. Yeah. I was.
we were so busy. We were slammed with
It
courses.
sounds like it.
Yeah, just like makeup dives, and I woke up not like thinking I wasn't gonna do dives at all, which seems it's not rare that happens, but like it was looking like one of those trips, and then they wanted us with the adventure course with the deep dives. I was like, I gotcha, because all my students wanted to come with me, and I was like, all right, let's do it. Only one dive, I can do that. Second one of our instructor's ears really started hurting, and she was like, can you take mine? I was like, I got it, I can do it. And then after that one, I was like, okay, this is the last dive. Nobody dives. We all have to set up the boat for cleanup and send out. And then my supervisor was like, you want to take her for another DSD? I was like, yeah, I can do that. No problem. So I just woke up thinking I was gonna stay dry and warm, and I was gonna really clean the crap out of the boat, get us ready for an early send off. But so I dove all 3 times, which usually you never dive all 3 times on the last day. Usually you have one where you can either just chill or you're doing something on the boat. And so I was just wiped yesterday, and I'm just mentally and physically exhausted today.
You have 2 more of these trips.
Yeah.
And you told them, he was like, let me know after this. And you're like, no, I got it. I'll be fine.
Dude, I do. Like, I needed today to, like just bled out. So, I did. And then you came home and made me move fucking 500-pound bookshelves.
Oh, it was so funny when that lady was like, oh my gosh, are you guys moving in, like, this late? And then everyone would be like, no, these are for snakes. I was just like, no, it's just a shelf.
Yeah, I was like, please don't say it's a racking system. Please don't say it's a racking system. But that's what thought came to my mind as well. But
yeah, these were a lot. You see the material it's made of, it looks light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it was pretty dense.
It honestly wasn't as bad though.
No.
Like, it was just we were just a little sharp, messed up hands a little bit.
Yeah.
But these sausages have been put through it. They are getting tougher. It's just my calluses just get peeled right off.
Yeah.
But they are like this is I think the roughest they've ever been, honestly.
Yeah.
I think so. Just because it goes through so many new levels of skin that they're just like my grip strength is getting ridiculous too. But so that was my fantastic boat trip. Going on another one starting at 5:30 tomorrow. Good stuff.
You know what feels good? Being back to work after 5 days and having your scratches all over my arms.
Yeah.
We got to work with the monitors today, and they scratched the shit out of me because I hadn't been messing with them for a while, so they were a little more hesitant. Especially one of the male laces. He whipped me, but it hit the top of my hat. And I was like, bitch. Picked him up, and he scratched the shit out of me down my arm. I got scratched here by the female, even though she was chill. She just dug in. I caught we had to catch Merkin water monitors from their display pond because the pond has a crack, so we have to seal it and do everything. So it got stuck in a log. Like it wedged itself into a log and then inflated its body. I was like, oh, I can annoy this lizard till it comes out because I've done it before. So I just keep poking it for like 5-10 minutes. We're trying everything. I'm poking it, I'm pulling on the tail, like just trying to aggravate this thing. And it's just hissing and just filling its body with more air. So I was like, we were about to just carry this log and just throw it in the enclosure in the log. And I was like, why don't we just put it in mud? But it's a water monitor, so it goes in there. I was like, I actually don't know how long these guys can hold their breath. He's like, yeah, I don't know either. So we sat there for 5 minutes, same thing, poking. Right before we gave up, I just reached in and just pulled the tail. Like not hard, but enough, like I gave it a good tug. And it shot up like halfway, and I was like, oh, it's moving. Sat there for another couple minutes, would not go out. And then as soon as we just lifted the log up to take it out and carry it, it just swam out. So then you just grab it by the tail. And they don't bite. Like for some reason, ours just don't bite. They're just super flighty. So he just picked it up and just carried it like a baby, like this with one arm.
Nice.
And then we were supposed to find this turtle that was in there. No idea where it went. It's not lost. It couldn't escape the enclosure at all. We think it's wedged under a rock because we just got a cold snap. So we think one, it either dug a burrow and is just gonna burrow somewhere and randomly emerge someday, or through all the commotion of us like moving logs, it's a super flighty turtle. It's a sawshell, and it wedged itself under a rock. That's my theory. I found a tight wedge, or it's in some bushes, and we just can't see. It's so thick we can't see where it is.
Yeah.
So keeping an eye out the next couple of days.
Is that the one where like enclosure that right by food prep?
No. The Mertens are the monitors. If you're walking, you get the alligators, field neck lizards, and then the water monitors across from Zach.
Yep. So
no animals are in there except for that one soft-shell turtle, which would be fine to stay in there for a week without a full pond.
Yeah.
They're already enough. But it was weird. It was bizarre. We looked for like an hour, and then I went back multiple times checking, couldn't find it.
I want to get a pond. Pond would be sick. If you can stash all of these up here, I can get a pond.
Yeah.
We'll put it right.
You know, another
It would be
like
so cool out there.
it's not just that would be sick. It's not just cleaning off the shelves of all those dirts. Like that's gonna suck. It's gonna take me an hour, but it's also I have to hand scrub each of these tubs.
Yeah. You should do that.
Yeah. It'll be quick. There's not really shit in there. It's just dirt, so it doesn't have to be a deep scrub, but deep enough. And then
I hate that our utility sink is the size of like a cutting board. Like if it was any bigger, that would have been perfect. But it's literally like.
Is there any way to hook up a hose to it and just run it down the stairs?
I haven't looked yet, but I'll definitely look into that one.
But also, you don't have a big enough enclosure for you.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I don't want to be filling up the little fish pools every time water changes. That's just unnecessary. But I can't wait to start doing
Fish stuff?
water changes, and let me get some plants. And I'm gonna use. I don't know. Is snake poop good for fertilization?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Probably not dry. I mean, maybe if you put it in a fish tank, it would fertilize some plants. But
Yeah, I mean, definitely like mix it around and mix it
also
with
a ton of
compost.
ammonia though.
Yeah.
But wet snake shit would go great on plants. It's good fertilizer.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, like I said yesterday, that's gonna be my next.
Dude, I will
piece.
dump all of my snake shit into your fish tank.
Okay, I don't want that.
You're gonna have a big ammonia stuff once these are filled.
Oh yeah, did I tell you that we're getting nitrates?
Yeah, which is good because it goes nitrogen, nitrites, and then what the last ammonia spec?
Ammonia, nitrites,
Nitrates. Yeah, okay.
Once
Okay.
nitrates.
But we're on step 2 of 3. We're 66% there.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we should be good, and I don't think we're gonna need auto start
No.
because I think.
That broccoli bomb woke it up.
Seriously. Yeah, and I think the sand also helped it, gave it more room for those.
Beneficial bacteria.
Yeah, more surface area for the nitrates to build on,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
So you're getting rid of all those decorations
Yeah, I'm not using
before you put fish in or after?
before.
Yeah.
Like,
So when you go fish shopping with Mary, you're gonna get plants too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're gonna go fish shop planting, and then we're gonna go like house plant shopping.
Really? She already knows about the house plant shopping?
I don't think so. I told her we were going plant shopping, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if she knows. So I'm gonna just take her fish plant shopping at first, and then when we're on a day where we don't have much to do, I'm like, okay, we're gonna go actual plant shopping now.
What plants are you gonna get?
I don't know, bro. We'll see. She's got a good eye for cool plants, and
Sick.
yeah, Budding says it. She's also gonna want to look up like other places with plants too.
Oh, like actual nurseries?
Yeah, like
These
she.
are good recommendations. I know, like,
Yeah.
Matt gets all of his plants live, and he goes to this nursery,
Okay.
so like, definitely figure that out.
Yeah, that would be a fun like outing. Cause I do want to get some plants for here.
Just some color.
Yeah,
Pop.
because it's all white right now.
All white.
Besides this,
Yeah.
this is the only colorful part,
But
right?
you're never looking at it.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is, yeah, it's good.
I mean, they are. It's good that they are, but we're not. We're always looking at just my mug shot, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and a TV. So yeah, we need rugs, plants, a little bit more decoration for that, and right here.
Yep.
But yeah, the house is finally starting to come together. It's looking beautiful.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I also told the breeder I work with that I take hatchlings for him and raise them up for him because I have the space now. And he seemed super into it, and also said he'd love if I took a bigger part in the business side of everything. So, gonna try to go over there as much as I can this week, but I have to do other things. On Wednesday I have my first counseling session.
Oh,
It's
really?
gonna be strange, but yeah. So I won't even get to sleep then. Super long.
Did you tell the podcast that you're doing counseling?
I think so.
We might have went over that last one.
Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, I'm doing counseling. I think I've said that.
Yeah.
To recap, in case I didn't, nothing's wrong with me. I'm just curious. That's all. Yeah. Anyways, Wednesday is that, and then I'll probably go over after that, or start selling everything. And then Thursday I might go out herping. If I don't, or probably even if I do, depending on how long we're out, I'll probably go over to More Fun again. On Friday I'm going herping. Probably won't go over to More Fun then, so it'll be all day. But yeah, and I start working at Domino's again next week.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
You guys have been working there.
Which it'll be good. I can actually justify working there now because any extra money above my budget can go to animals and like just setting up everything.
Yeah.
So good motivation. I'll stick with it until DoorDash becomes available. Which will be interesting. We'll see. I'm ready to get all these animals set up. So I have to. That python can't stand that tug on its life. I just realized it needs my room enclosure.
Oh man.
Darn. I'll figure it out. Great deals. Great prices. Let's keep a lookout because it's got months in that enclosure for sure.
Yeah, seriously.
I could even keep one of these, but I don't know. I like it, having space.
Yeah, and he's right there.
Yeah, so
I haven't taken notes.
carpet python, Ackie monitor, soon to come, patty melon, soon to come. Which also they can't really have a problem with that being pet because it's not that I'm fostering it for my job. It's part of my job. It's out of here every day.
Yeah, we adopted it off
Yeah.
the streets. If they say no,
Yeah, it's
protest.
yeah. Anyways, there's that. Silly RS or spiny-tailed geckos, which will come sometime in the next couple of months, like 2 to 3, maybe 4 months. Hopefully in the next month and a half-ish, 2 huge carpet pythons, which would be cool to have some big snakes,
Mm-hmm.
especially to use that. Just lay that a little bit on there. Trying to think if there's anything else that I plan on getting. I think that's it. And then the random free stuff I just get offered
Mm-hmm.
that are hatchlings. I'll probably go in there because I don't really have room. I would be fine with 34 hatchling snakes. I don't really have room to do 34 other reptiles,
Yeah.
that, like in separate enclosures and everything. So, we'll see. But also, I could see buying more enclosures. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some interesting stuff. I have the best scape I will ever make in the works.
Yeah, it was sick.
These bowls, I want to put also very, very good scapes. That's my goal right now. I don't care about getting big stuff or I do want to get cool stuff, but it's not about like like getting Oscars or like I mean Hill Street Villages would be dope. But I just really want to get good on my scaping. I know that I can keep fish. I know that I can do it really damn well, and I know that I can keep them happy. But I want to have pretty tanks. All of my tanks, some of them have been okay to look at. Most of them were like, eh.
Yeah.
But now I just want to get good at it, like actually good, and actually make some like full ecosystems. I've been watching like a lot of like tank videos recently, just of ones with like copepods and ostracods and all that kind of stuff, and just make like full on ecosystems. So that's what I want to do with the bowls, and have like pea puffers in there, like one pea puffer tank, another shrimp tank probably. That's what I'm gonna. I haven't seen any pea puffers here though, but yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the scape of the 20 gallon, or I don't know how much that is, but yeah, and then 10 gallon. I think I want to do. No idea. I don't want to do salt water, but I was thinking about it. There's just like no way. I just don't have the money to do a saltwater tank right now. It's
Yeah, I might just have to wait.
Yeah. I'll figure out what to do with the saltwater tank. I was thinking maybe like a solo mud skipper, but
And also, animal plans change
all the time.
all the time because new things are offered and
Yeah.
everything. And it's very hard to refuse good deals. But I
Mm.
think I don't need racking systems. If I do, I want like adult juvenile snake racking systems.
Yeah.
But I also just want to get enclosures if I'm going to move out to stuff. Not worried about scapes because racking system and the carpet python enclosure will be. It'll be for a carpet python. We'll figure it out. I haven't decided if I'm going to use soil or not.
Yeah.
And then I guess for the silly artist, I'll put some effort in because that's a glass display enclosure. And then for that Aki with that thing, it won't really be nice with plants, but it will be a nice looking enclosure. It'll be sick. I'll have two different heat points, a huge water bowl. It'll be sick.
Yeah. The plans are in the works. They're changing all the time. I literally didn't even know we were gonna have that.
No, this all happened within
2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
I didn't either, dude. I'm just as surprised as you are.
I'm sure you are. Jesus. So yeah, but all good content stuff. I can't wait to
Start filming.
start filming it. I filmed an okay video of the tank, but I just wanted to do a better one.
Yeah. I'm not proud of my enclosures yet, so I will when I'm building out this, like Avery for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think I can make a whole video on that Aki. I mean, it's in a quarantine enclosure, where it's eating and just getting right heat, settling in until I can afford to put it into a big enclosure. Also, so it's easy to put it on a diet.
Yeah.
That snake's in that tub until it eats and until it continues to grow. Yeah, there's not a ton of content for me yet, but there will be coming up. So,
there. Just stay tuned to the Shake Adventures.
Shake Adventures is also growing at a rapid rate. We're almost at 450 subscribers. We're at 447.
Thank you guys for the support.
What time are we at?
It's 9:10.
That's plenty of time.
Adios, guys. See you next week.